Hi, today I'm going to really talk about coercive control. This is such a very broad topic, and I was trying to just get as much information to relate to as many people as possible while prepping for this video. And it wound up throwing me down this crazy rabbit hole of information. I know coercive control in my situation, so I know certain elements about it, but there's so much more that can be relatable to people. And if you watch my videos, I really try to just find as much information as possible regarding a topic so that way it applies to as many people as possible. So with that being said, there's a lot on this. Like this is some shit. Excuse me. And I feel like I'm gonna have to create a playlist just for topics on this. I don't think that I'm gonna touch on most of it in one video. I'm gonna read to you I put it all together, but it was a list of a bunch of different things that I heard in regards to explaining what this is and how someone can be affected, identifying it. So I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to dive into my thoughts afterwards. Okay. The broad definition of coercion is the use of express or implied threats of violence or other intimidating behaviors that puts a person in immediate fear of the consequences in order to compel that person to act against his or her will. Coercive control is an act of a pattern of acts of assault, threats, humiliation, and intimidation or other abuse that is used to harm, punish, or frighten their victims. Any threat made with the assumption you're at the receiving end and will suffer a consequence if you go against them. Another thing I wanted to just include here before I got into another topic, I saw a lot of questions regarding is gaslighting the same thing as coercion or coercive control, and I found a really good wording to explain that, so I wanted to include that in here. Gaslighting is a tactic in which a person or entity, in order to gain power, makes a victim question their reality. So that's one of the, I guess, key factors that you would say about gaslighting. Gaslighting really makes you question your reality. There's a little more here. Okay, the technical term coercive control includes emotional, mental, and physical abuse, harassment, financial abuse, extortion, and malicious communications. If you dealt with a narcissist, I'm sure you know what those are. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the legality behind it. I found some stuff that I want to read off to you. It says, although psychological abuse and coercive control are not illegal in the U.S., which was disappointing, many domestic violence organizations train law enforcement responders to recognize signs of the behaviors. I'll get into another video about my opinion on that. And then it says in the UK, specifically England and Wales, they campaigned and succeeded in making coercive control a criminal offense, and that was back in December of 2015. Now, when I read that, I was like, wait a minute, it's a criminal offense. And of course, when you Google, they don't specify like what country. So immediately I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not know this? And then when I was reading into it, I saw that it was just specific to in the UK. Now, that made me think, why is it not, like, why didn't the US follow suit in that? I'm going to read to you another thing that I found online. It was in regards to the state of New York. So, and this was dated 2019 to 2020. It said, with the support and leadership of Senator Kevin Parker, the campaign to end coercive control in New York State has introduced the first coercive control bill in the USA, which is a big deal. So New York State was the first state to introduce this bill of coercive control as being a criminal offense. And then it said, and then there were just some very good things discussed on this page and explaining how serious this is and why it's so serious. It says, despite all the resources allocated to domestic violence, most professionals do not understand coercive control. And as a consequence, U.S. victims and their children remain unsafe and at risk because their abusive parents are not held accountable. And I apologize, I said their abusive partners are not held accountable. I understand that very well, those words. And then it says, between 2000 to 2006, 3,200 American soldiers were killed in combat. During that same period, more than 3 times as many women died at the hands of their husbands and boyfriends. 1 woman is murdered every 16 hours in the U.S. by a current or former partner. Some of the most dangerous cases happen when domestic violence, stalking, and coercive control concur. These murders in slow motion, and that's in parentheses, are preventable. Early identification and intervention is vital to saving lives and saving money. I don't know saving money part. I think saving lives is more important. The most dangerous place for a woman and children is in the home. And I remember when I felt that. I understand that. We must look beyond the bruises. Domestic violence is not just about assault. The cumulative effect of 1,000 cuts is devastating. And when I read that, I was like, yeah, I felt that. Many women do not report until the behavior has escalated and there may be injuries. For many, this is too late. Criminalizing these forms of intimate partner violence would send a powerful signal and give victims confidence to come forward earlier, leading to early intervention and prevention, which I thought was a great, the way it was worded, it was, giving that confidence to victims by making this a criminal offense. And that's all I copy and pasted from what I found from online, but now to kind of just dive into what my thoughts are. Excuse me. I feel that coercive control was something that was like the last piece of my puzzle that I identified, and I went for maybe 2.5 years without even realizing it was happening. Like, I knew it was happening, but I didn't realize all the aspects where it lied. So I'm gonna end it here because I'm already looking at the time and I'm like, geez, I ate up a lot of time talking, because there's other topics that I want to discuss and they're going to be lengthy as well. So I'll consider this my first video of my playlist for coercive control, and then from here on out I will upload videos, I guess put part 1, part 2, part 3, because this is serious, and I really want to get this out there. And the fact that there's a state senate that has already tried pushing this as a criminal offense, it really sparked this passion in me where I'm like, okay, well, what can we do? Like, can we do something about this? Can I find information out? Can I put it on here? Can I ask people to contact their state senate and, kind of just put that out there? So yeah, it has my mind kind of swirling right now with information. And these are one of those things where it's like being an advocate for people's rights to live. This type of abuse, I have a very sore spot for this, because this kept me in, I hate using the word victim, but it kept me a victim of this abuse when I thought I was already out of it. So yeah, I'm going to save all that extra stuff for the other video, but thank you for watching. And if you have any topics that you want to discuss regarding coercive control or experiences, I would really love to hear it, because it is so vast. Everybody, I just want to bring light to this. I want this to bring awareness to what it is. And even if hearing a couple things that I read off rings a bell with you, I'm glad that you know the term for what this is, so you know how to take your power back. So I'm sending you a lot of love and strength, and until next time, bye.